Hello guys, this is Mahbube and this is another episode of Our New World, documenting the lockdown and this pandemic situation. First, for the next generation, especially my 1 year old son Liam, and also maybe we could remember some of the details of today and learn some lessons from it. Today is the 7th of May, the year 2020. Um, More than 30,000 people died in the UK, and it made this country become the first in the Europe with the highest number of deaths. And still, people in the countries are dealing with lockdown, quarantine, isolation. There is no vaccine yet. The Oxford University gonna test on. They've done a human trial, and I think it was last week. And if everything go well, they were thinking of maybe next spring it would be ready by just every tests and all of the necessary things that they have to do. Um, um, Everybody is still in the lockdown and try to kind of keep the positive momentum of sharing like workout music. I'm working from home, so many people are working from home, there's so many people losing their jobs, but just the government started to give 3 months of 80% of the wages of the employed people, and also helping the self-employed people and businesses to get sort of recover during this economic pressure because of the lockdown. One of the reasons that I'm making the video of today is that a friend of us told us that just 2 weeks ago when he was coming to Manchester there was no test in the airport, and it made me just questions even more of why on that moment there was absolutely no test and nothing in the airport. I've heard that in the news last week that they're gonna start in the people coming to the UK to kind of put them into 2 weeks of isolation or quarantine, but I feel like it's it's late. Like just we could have done it way earlier. But beside all of these things, because if I want to talk about it more, it's going to be more sort of talking all about these negative points of poor management and performance management, but that's not my point now. I want to talk about one of the ideas that just came to my mind, because we've always been talking about the planet and kind of helping the global warming and all of that, and but by force, because of a pandemic, we've done the lockdown. And I was thinking of why, when something could be doable right now, why we're not doing it like before the pandemic, the virus, to help our earth planet. And it shows, like, in a very honest word, that it shows that how selfish as human being we are. And how something like this could be helpful. Imagine if there is no pandemic, imagine if there is no virus, and it would be definitely effective to actually put some times during the year for people to work from home, not coming out, to stay at home, to kind of ease the factories productions that pollute the air, and all these kind of fundamental works that would help our planet. So I've kind of been thinking that how fast we managed to do that. We'll see now. The sea is clear, the air is clear. It's kind of been shown that even I've seen this video in Liverpool, that how the water is very very clear, and it kind of been so just made me think that just why we haven't done something fundamental like this before the pandemic, before the virus, to help our planet Earth. And uh, it's it's very special time now when we think about the life before this pandemic. I'm sure that everybody is thinking that, oh, like, it's like a dream that we've been out there, like we're going to all these events, not to worry about any virus, any contagious, deadly matter that would affect us. This situation will end, and we're gonna come past this pandemic, and the life is gonna go back to normal. And it's gonna be also a day, maybe a few years after this time, that we're gonna talk about, oh, it was a lockdown, it was this virus, and wow, how we've kind of been dealing with it, how scary it was. But the most important part of it is the nature of a human being that forget things. That's why history repeats itself. That's why we do same mistakes. If you look at the history of the human being and kind of like a looking generally of some of the matters that affected like human rights and human being massively. So I'm really kind of been now thinking of the how it's affecting us now and the impact of it after the pandemic, and how we could sort of put these what we're learning now, and we've kind of feel like, oh yeah, it's kind of thinking about this global warming, we're thinking that, oh, the for example the issues of violence against women, children that had to stay at home, the kind of something that really need to be put in consideration, and how we're gonna sort of put that in the next phase after the lockdown, after the pandemic, to do some grassroots work to be able to kind of clear that. So as an artist, I've been thinking of, especially when I look at the point that I focus on, which was self-care, that, you know, if you've been following my videos, that I've been giving tips on the self-care during the lockdown and during the isolation at home, and how we can help ourselves for our mental health well-being. I now want to really also start to think about the structure and also the reaction of us during this time. I'm sure that some of us have been surprised even with ourselves of how this situation has impacted of our life. I don't want to go into detail because it's special and different for everybody. That they came into the point that they faced lockdown. It affected us in also in very detailed point, as I've told you, very small thing, from going to using the public transport and just do your basic shopping, or going out for a drink or something. You know, just all that has been massively affect our lives, and it made us to question because our routine has been interrupted. So I'm really interested in that sort of reaction, to see that how we can use these reactions, these new feelings, these new experiences to help us during any hard situation that would just that we would face, and also the issues and the challenges that we face that we need to put into consideration. I'll definitely gonna take like the years before that I work on the focus of women's rights, to shed a light on the violence against women, which we have to put in priority to work on. And I shout out to all the charities, all the work that has been done so far, and also for children, and also for understanding that there are grassroots works that we have to do. So these are the things that I will definitely work on. So I'm focusing also on some of more of well-being in my podcast. So if you haven't checked my podcast, you can just go into my Instagram profile, and there's a link to the list of our New World podcast that I'm creating. And yeah, I'm just trying to kind of also create some artwork to respond to these sort of reactions, the well-being, and every new experience that as human being we face during the lockdown, which I'm really interested in. And I've had a very good conversation about it with some of my other friends and artists. So there will be also some great new outcomes, which is also that positive side. So at the end of this video, I want to again thank you, the frontline workers, the key workers, especially the staff in the hospitals. Thank you so much for all the work, for saving our lives, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.